either as a board member or as a member of a national committee. We have all kinds of opportunities for people to develop their leadership skills, and we welcome people to become members of WILPF in the United States. Our website, you'll be able to get there if you simply put in your search engine WILPFUS.org. That will take you to our homepage where you can find out a lot more.
Eleanor, you can ask your question.
Is it okay? I put in the chat comment that with all due respect, can we hear about WILPF's current activities because of the situation in today's world involving nuclear confrontation, because of Israel and behind Israel, and really the proponent of domination and war is the United States, which we are all a part of. And to me, being in the belly of the beast, and I know I can understand Darien. I have so much respect and love for the years she has given, but I
Oh. You went on pause, Eleanor.
I did go on pause?
Right. Okay, you're back.
Oh, okay. Darian, is that okay with you to switch, to give a, I thank you for I jotted.
Eleanor, I can help Darian. WILPF, WILPF, has Middle East committee, a huge committee that they are very active and very informative group that they that they are involved in what is happening in the Middle East.
Okay, we need one for Iran. You and I have to follow through.
Right.
This one for Iran. We know a lot of great Iranian women activists. Leila Soleimani, who I just invited, she's a therapist out of Sweden.
Yeah.
The girl, Iranian Chainabat, she does like cultural promotions about Iran, about the language, about our customs. These kind of people who are not hostile can represent the Iranians.
Yeah. Where did she go now, Eli June?
She had to go, but she's going to be in touch with me.
Oh, good.
And Leila Soleimani, I invited her. She didn't come up, but hopefully another day we pick a bunch of progressive women and have something useful, cultural, non-hostile, productive, happening as Iranian women.
Yeah.
Because this whole Zan Zendegi Azadi, woman life freedom has really ruined it for everybody. Women in Iran and women outside Iran.
Right.
That's all I can say.
I talked to Darien, and she is great. She's going to help us on the issue of bringing Iran, even though she is a president of America.
Yes,
but
she can.
yeah, but she can help. Yes. Yeah.
We can easily get like 20 women members.
Yeah, we will.
I see that there was a question about current WILPF activities in the United States, and I wonder, go ahead and talk about that.
Sorry, we got distracted. Okay, go ahead.
So as Nuri said, we have our Middle East Peace and Justice Action Committee, and they are the ones who focus on what's so sadly going on in Gaza at this time. I certainly wish that we had more influence in the United States, because the position of the U.S. government is pretty much terrible. we have organized a number of efforts to reach out to our government representatives. I have also published a statement from WILPF in support of the student organizing and activism on the campuses. That act has been inspiring to so many of us to see that the youth are taking a stance, and on the campuses they're being nonviolent and respectful. The accusations against them about violence and anti-Semitism are really quite ludicrous. Instead of being anti-Semitic, these activists on the campuses are standing up for basic human rights, and taking that position will be to the benefit of Jews around the world, because right now it's very sad that Jewish people are being judged by the actions of Israel, just as it's sad for people in the United States to be judged by the actions of our own country, my own country in the United States. The populace in the United States, Jewish people around the world, do not necessarily support the government positions of the countries that people associate with them. And I firmly believe that as in the United States, many Jewish people are standing up for the human rights of people in Palestine, that enhances the understanding of Jewish people around the world as being people who support justice and freedom. Other issues in the United States are also attracting Women's International League activism. We have a number of different issue committees. One is focused on economics and is particularly working to educate WILPF members about the intricacies of the economic system in the United States, especially banking and debt and how those work together. That's our Women, Money, and Democracy issue committee. We have another issue committee that focuses on Earth democracy, which has to do with a number of environmental issues, such as the upcoming Congress of Parties, to talk about how to respond to the deterioration of the planetary climate. The committee also focuses on healthy and safe food, trying to represent the interests of both farm workers and consumers in having food that is not poison and farm fields that are not poisonous to work in. That committee additionally is working around the issue of what are called forever chemicals. Those are PFAS and PFOS. There are certain chemicals that are called forever chemicals because they take thousands of years to deteriorate or degrade in the environment. They have been spread through a number of means. Corporations, even when they knew the dangerous carcinogenic and mutagenic effects of these chemicals, continued to suppress that information so that they could continue to sell their products that contain these forever chemicals. Many of the consumer goods now have been restricted. However, the U.S. military is using forever chemicals, particularly in a kind of foam used to fight fires for aircraft fires. Of course, fighting aircraft fires is important, but when the chemicals in the foam contaminate the entire area, that's a serious problem. So we are highlighting the contamination from PFAS in the environments near U.S. military bases, both in the United States and in over 800 military bases that the U.S. has around the world. In the United States, we have some environmental protections through the law, but in other countries, those protections may be much weaker or the influence of the United States is used to prevent any enforcement of those protections. So our Earth Democracy Committee is very active around those issues. Other committees we have include a committee that is focused on the effects of intimate partner violence and domestic violence. I believe that may be a problem in nearly every country around the world.
Right.
In the United States, while we have a little more public discussion of that issue than we did, say, 20 years ago, it is still an issue where women tend to be greatly disadvantaged in the legal system when they try to escape from a violent environment, especially in a marriage situation and when there is child custody involved. We also have more issue committees. We are a very busy organization. I'm trying to remember for all of them right offhand. We have a committee focusing on advancing human rights, particularly housing issues, immigration issues, and the seeking to end the death penalty and mass incarceration in the United States. And I'm forgetting one of our issue committees. I'm afraid without looking at the list, the most long-standing issue committee and one of the primary focuses of our work is disarm and wars. The Disarm Committee has especially been involved with the international organization ICANN, which won the Nobel Peace Prize 3 years ago for its work in getting into force the Treaty for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Many people thought it would be impossible to ever get to be an official UN treaty, but now it is a UN treaty and it is in effect. It's international law, over 50 countries having ratified that treaty. Unfortunately and unsurprisingly, none of the nuclear states have signed on to the Treaty for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, which is often called TPNW for short. So we are pushing the United States to reverse that treaty and end its nuclear weapons program. Of course, that's going to take additional work.
Yeah.
So those are some of the activities we're working on. The way we work in the United States is primarily through what are called our branches. The U.S. WILPF is a section of international WILPF, and then within the United States have a number of branches. Branches are local groups where those involved in the local group decide what action they take locally. Frequently, they will go ahead and take action on one of the issues of our national issue committees, such as the disarm efforts on the TPNW, and or they will be involved in more localized actions ranging from working with people who are unhoused to protecting land use to whatever issue speak to the local branch and to local community. So we try to allow a lot of flexibility for our branches as long as they are consistently acting in support of WILPF principles. They are welcome to be active in a variety of ways. We also have a number of allied or partner organizations, and we seek inspiration from them. I'm sure many people in the United States have heard of Code Pink. Medea Benjamin, who's a leader in that organization, has done wonderful work on calling out the U.S. government, particularly lately on the Gaza war, the war on Gaza. Veterans for Peace, World Beyond War, other national organizations and even international organizations are ones who have very similar values to WILPF. and we work closely with them when the opportunity arises.
Jewish Voices for Peace, if not now, they're also excellent activist groups,
Yes,
Jewish activist groups.
exactly. I know in my own community in Sacramento, California, we are very involved with Peace Action, which sponsors a number of activities, and Jewish Voice for Peace has organized or been a co-sponsor of many of the actions to stop the war on Gaza. And our members turn out for those demonstrations, as well as continue to contact Congress and the President to call for a change in U.S. policies.
Okay, so questions, comments?
Okay.
Okay.
Darian, I would like to ask you and possibly work together to create a TikTok group speaking on behalf or representing completely WILPF, Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, US. So, I don't know what you think as president of WILPF, if we could work together and create a TikTok speaking weekly or whatever engagement for WILPF. And Ellie, is it possible to do something like that?
Norwegian, I made a United States Department of Peace for you because it was kind of a joke. It came to Parliament and never passed, so we made it ourselves. Norwegian made it herself,
Right.
and she has a TikTok page. I'm happy to make the TikTok page for WILPF, and just have to get Darien a little bit up to speed with Eleanor, with followership and having their own account, so we can host this, these meetings for English-speaking women to participate.
Definitely, WILPF US is interested in being more active in different kinds of social media platforms. At the same time, I have to admit it's challenging for us because many of our members are, as we say, they are not electronic natives. They are over age 50 and are still trying to get accustomed to how to do social media or even where to do it.
Yeah, well, you see, I started the account for Nuri and for Eleanor, and for you, I have to show you how to make your own account. And before you know it, you're going to have 1,000 followers. You can host lives. I will host it for you. Just have to attend.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to do it for any of your members. It really is not that painful.
I like the word painful.
Education person
Okay.
to see how we can develop this.
Right.
The issue isn't simply making the account. Thank you very much, Ellie, for what you're doing. I know I would be hard pressed to find time to add anything more to my schedule, and many WILPFers are in the same position. We tend to be overcommitted already. So probably we'll want to have more articles in our electronic newsletter telling people about options available, how to get training, and how to be active on it. But these are things we can work toward.
TikTok is mostly for a younger generation of people who are very active and don't have experience. So it'd be so nice to mix you long-time activists that know civil disobedience and have been to jail to pass on that experience to the young ones.
Yeah.
So so it would be nice to mix. So I'm happy to help any way you want. And if not, after we start WILPF Iran, we're going to have a page. And of course, it's the American-Iranian friendship kind of thing.
Yes.
So we can have your guys doing it.
Yeah, it would attract youth, Darien, and this is a very good thing for WILPF. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add my applause. I understand being a senior, going very close to the decade of being 80, but I have years and years of, not as long as you or Nuri, but it's okay. It's okay. When I joined, the important thing is that from the Vietnam War on, I've been, as we say, in the streets, connected to very progressive organizations, Answer Coalition, Party for Socialism and Liberation, Workers' World, the international organizations for peace and justice. And it's always been my dream and my hope, and I'm so happy to have you with us today, because I understand personally, and I have to balance my own life. Also, every one of us has to, but Ellie Banu, Ellie, beautiful, Edison, has opened the road for us. I am so excited. I am so dedicated to making this happen. I have a daughter who is 40 years old, and she has turned her Facebook page into a combination of enjoyment and life with her 2 little boys and her husband, and what they do with the defense, absolute defense of Gaza and Palestine, in addition to now promoting socialist candidates. So the youth are brave and they're knowledgeable, and us elders are going to put our shoulders to the grind or whatever you say, and there will be breakthroughs. There will be people who can help us do that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Ellie-chan, I love you. Thank you. Yeah. Will do. I love you, Ellie-chan.
I'm sorry, say that again, Dadian.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
I just wanted to say thank you, Ellie, for making so much possible. And we'll look about it all.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. You should explore it. And I'm happy to make your profile, get you some followers so you can get on here. It's very hot, especially on topic of Palestine. There's a lot of nice young activists or older that, and like I said, I started this about maybe 10 months ago or maybe a year ago to show my niece, who was 8 years old, to check if it's suitable for my niece. And then I just got caught here. Now I have 5 profiles here on Facebook. I have 4 profiles on Instagram, 2 profiles, Twitter 1, with a total of 20,000 followers.
Afarin. That's Persian for fantastic.
With TikTok in the United States is going to be very interesting. We'll have to see how that develops.
Well, apparently they've opened an office in the U.S. and they provide their data to the U.S. So the spying is already happening. So I don't know why they should stop there.
Yes, not to throw any cold water, but yes, the government, the U.S. government is one of the worst that we have been living with, in my opinion. I mean, I'm 79. And we have seen the ups and downs. I was just born 5 years before the terrible attack on socialists and communists. This is going to increase. It already has increased because of some of the ridiculous and untrue charges against these students on campuses, trying to call them terrorists and, in the mass media. But the pressure is so high internationally. And London, look what happened in London with the riots, and many, many wonderful Londoners came out. I want everyone to know that if they haven't read it, because it's hidden from the mass media, that good human beings came out in the streets in large numbers in areas of London all over saying, no, shut up far right, shut up fascists, shut up Zionists. We will not allow you to divide us and attack us because we are in the streets. My whole heart went happy seeing this fight back. But again, it's not on the mass media. That is why it is important with TikTok and any of the other Instagram, any of the other social medias, to me.
Yeah, the good news, Eleanor, is that there are more than 100 million Americans regularly. They are on TikTok.
Wow.
And I myself speak on so many Palestinian groups on TikTok, and they will not. They are doing their best because it's the end of really the power of imperialism. It is the end of it, no matter what. But that makes it hard for all of us because they are not going to give up easily their power. But for us using TikTok and working together, it brings the whole nation together, learning the truth of what is going on. There are tens and tens of TikTok, hundreds of TikTok groups from Palestine that is making the Palestinian struggle global. So, yeah, TikTok, they can't do anything about it. They cry. They can't.
We will not be silent.
That's right, baby.
Important shift in the next 5 to 10 years as some of the really reactionary attitudes are overcome and transformed by people who have a much broader understanding. At the same time, any group that sees its power slipping away is going to be likely to react, and we have to be ready to address such reactions. That's one of the reasons I think WILPF is so valuable, because we can reach out to our branches, we can give them support and encouragement, and at the local level, the branches meet together and meet together over decades so that they are able to trust each other. New people are always welcome, and at the same time, you can't always tell if a new person might be coming from the government, might be coming from the opposition, but you get to know people over time, and you have other people whom you can trust and really have a conversation with to help you with your political activism and keeping it better informed.
How many members do you have in the U.S. branch?
We have about almost 4,000 members.
Wow.
We've seen some decline in membership over the last 10 years, partly because our members are aging and partly because we have not yet made the transition into a lot of the social media platforms that attract younger people. So we are undertaking new recruitment efforts and new organizing efforts currently and
How about
moving into the future.
internationally, how many people?
I have not ever seen a figure for how many people we have internationally. Part of that is because each international section has its own definition of what a member is. In the United States, a member is someone who pays the membership dues, but in other countries where the income level is much lower, some sections do not have membership dues, and I don't know how they define a member. So I don't think that we have really good figures for how many actual members there are. There are nearly 40 different national sections, the last I heard. So each section has at least 10 members, and generally far more than that.
Right. Two more
Yes.
quick questions. One, do you have a position on BRICS? Two, are you supporting any candidates for president?
I'll start with the question first. We do not, under U.S. law, nonprofit organizations are not permitted to support any partisan candidates. So not only do we not support partisan candidates, but frankly, the partisan candidates rarely represent the breadth of our issues, and our members are very diverse. If we picked one partisan candidate, that would alienate some of our members. Instead, we emphasize the issues that are important to us and promote those issues with all of the candidates.
How about the third party candidate?
Any party would be partisan.
Okay.
So we do not take a position on any partisan politics. As I say, we emphasize the issues, and we push all the candidates to take positive positions on our issues.
And that is exactly why the United States has kept the really caring, beautiful human beings that join charitable and support charitable organizations, has kept them chained to the system, because demanding.
We push the candidates to be more aware of those issues and to take positions on them, and hopefully we get some media publicity on those issues.
And about BRICS, I'm sorry, it got a little mixed up.
Right.
Yeah, I think a position on BRICS would be something that would come from our Women, Money, and Democracy Committee, and I am not aware that we have really talked about that much. It certainly, the idea that there should be other focuses of power in the world today makes sense, because countries like the United States have monopolized political power for a long time, and we have to admit that our current U.S. government is not supporting most of the issues that we would advocate for when it comes to foreign policy. Domestically, there are some good positions, but foreign policy, I don't think we've had a good national government in my lifetime.
Okay, Eleanor had some comment. Eleanor, please open your microphone. You were talking at the same time. I had to close.
Okay, I apologize for doing that. I got very excited when Darien was explaining how the various committees are doing so much work, and with few people, in a sense, very dedicated people, which is why I believe that our struggle to link up the youth with ourselves, as I call myself an elder, the Native American people held elders in high esteem. Sadly, because of the individualism in American culture, and me first, and oh, I want this and I need that. And that is the dominant cultural atmosphere. I want to see that broken. Break down the lines between the older generation, which has, as we have all said, the experience, and link up with the youth. I mean, I've sat in some of the campus pro-Palestinian, and every time I went, I learned something new, and they were always open to me, always respectful. It's clearly, my hair is white now, you don't see it. That's an earlier picture when I was 75. But I am Nuri and I, right? Nuri, we have we have white hair, gray hair, purple hair, whatever the hell it is. So this has been so, oh my God, I'm so glad I was able to get on. I was getting so nervous because, again, I am not as technically developed as I wish to be. And I value Ellie Vali.
Anytime, Ellie John, I gotta have a session with you on how to add followers.
Yes,
So,
I've tried to do that, and I do get names, and I've had this terrible past thing of being concerned about someone not being genuine, that I'm too conservative. Because when Ardeshir, my husband, who was the founder of American Iranian Friendship Committee, we were followed by the FBI. They had people interfere in our computers, and that I shouldn't be afraid anymore. I think it was from the past. I mean, it might.
My secret is, Ellie, I follow many people. They usually follow back. And if I don't like what they're saying or doing, then I unfollow them.
Okay.
But I my following. I've gotten so good that in 3 days I have 1,000 followers, so I can do a live.
Oh my God.
Then I went back and deleted like 2,000 people.
Okay, wonderful.
Eleanor, Ellie is new generation. She's our child.
Yes, she is.
I'm 64. I'm up there myself. Anyway, do we want to have some closing statements? Because we've gone over an hour and 15 minutes, and I cannot tape the video if we go too far. Please, closing
I would
statement.
just say that I am convinced that the peace movement is growing. Peace is growing. It is, I think everyone on this call probably knows that it's very, very difficult to really be perfectly aware of what's going on with the progressive movement because we don't get the media coverage, we don't hear about things. I think we are headed to better times, and of course that means we have to work to support those better times. It won't happen by itself, but I think there's a shift in the wind.
Darien, really, WILPF is very, very popular. We say, and you said it right, that only you count the people who pay membership, but there are hundreds and thousands that they know WILPF, they like WILPF, they want to be part of it. And the new technology matters, that we really enhance our movement with it and bring the youth in and let them take control and go with it. This is 110-year-old women's organization, the single one in the world with that long, and the single one in the world that progressive. So, and WILPF, for all of us to know, was part of organizing, ICANN was part of organizing 122 countries in United Nations to pass nuclear abolition treaty. And this is a power that must bring youth in it, and we must pass our organization with such a history, such a progressive work to youth, so that they continue that. And technology is one important thing in there. Yeah.
I agree.
Here, here.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to Eli Valley, that started this thing, and we will get so many places. We'll see. You will see. Yes.
Okay, so anybody else? Any comments, or shall we close the chat?
This is
I'll
great.
say our URL for our website again. We are at WILPFUS.org. For the international organization, it's simply WILPF.org.
Good to know. Yeah, I'm very excited to start a Iran branch.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think we should have a BRICS branch.
Good idea.
The only thing that can handle this empire is another empire.
Yeah. That's right. I love you. We'll go.
Now, I'm hoping that the power of the people can unite and traction to overcome all empires.
Right. It is. Going.
Okay, so
We can make it
Yeah.
if we try. I've seen it done before, where we opened up our hearts, and that opens up the door.
nice. I was going to ask you to sing. Thank you.
I've got tears. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Darian.
Here, wrote that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
I want to be in touch with you, maybe help you have a profile, and if you have a decent guest, come back, join us on a live.
Yeah.
And it's easy, but we stay in touch.
Yeah, and Darian, help us to have others as well to come to our thing, and we create a TikTok for WILPF.
Yeah, or at least come and have discussions, and then, we can table the suggestion and see how they feel about it. It
Yeah.
takes a huge prize to not be scared of this platform,
Right. Right. You are brave.
right?
You are a leader.
Believe me, I'm an elderly. It took me 3 days to figure things out, and that was it. Anyway, so
What a role
everybody
model.
have a nice day, and thank you for joining, everybody.
So we are joining, Eleanor is joining, and Eli John is joining, Elham, and then we are organizing Iranian branch of WILPF, connected so closely to US.
Yes,
Wow.
Yeah.
we can have a friendship committee on that will. How is that, Nurjun? So I don't have
Oh, I
to
like that. I like that. That's probably more powerful than American Iranian Friendship Society.
I don't
because
like
of-
these vague names that everybody forgets it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's good idea.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you, Darian.
And I will take this and send it to you, Darian, and everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great.
Be safe, be healthy, and keep fighting.
Yes.
Okay, then go up to the upper right-hand corner search bar and put in Eli, volume 9.
Okay, 1 second. ELY.
and then
How do you spell it?
VALY. Nuri and Eleanor, can you please click like until I get our guests up, then I bring you up. Like a fire gun. Yeah, just stay there for a while. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so I put Valley Valley. I see you, and I
Okay.
click you.
You see the picture, the moving part? It says live.
Yes.
Click on that. It should bring you here.
Okay, can I hang up? What?
First, let me get you up here. I don't see you yet.
I see you. I'm trying to figure out what.
You're
more I
here.
need.
Let me see. Are you here? Yes, you're here. Okay, I send the invite. Now you can hang up WhatsApp. Okay. Hello, how are you?
Just a moment.
Sure.